Ok ragazzi, allora oggi Ahad ci farà delle domande che combatterà questo venerdì a One Championship. Io e Ken abbiamo già combattuto più volte. How many times did you fight in one, Ken?
5.
So same as me. Ahad has some question for us, so let's go.
Hello guys, my name is Ahad. It's my first fight in one championship and I just want to use my friend's experience, so I ask my questions. So my first question is about cutting weight. So how do you guys cut weight safely without losing performance? With hydration also?
I mean, not just for you, but for anybody, you have to make sure you're in the right weight class. If you cut too much weight, you end up in some problems. And then I think the hardest part is probably the hydration. With hydration, you actually end up having to cut more weight in order to pass the hydration test.
How can we pass it? I mean,
Can
because
I
it's
be-
my first time I'm going to do the hydration test.
One of the most important things, as I told you before, is that you need to drink a lot of water in the days before. If you're already hydrated from the whole week, it's gonna be likely you will pass it.
Beyond that, really, you lose weight the same that you normally would. Even for Super Champ, whatever, it's just that when you get to when it's time to make weight, the last day, you have to do a little bit extra. So really what happens is you just have to, that last session, the last sweat, you just have to drink and hold your pee. That's really the only extra thing you have to do. They say, oh, in one championship, there's no weight cutting. Oh, there's this. But everyone knows we cut more, but we don't talk.
You're gonna get us banned, bro.
Yeah, but
I assume you have more secrets that you want to keep.
maybe I do actually.
How do you recover after weighing? What do you eat? What do you don't eat?
I think the most important thing after waiting it's not to eat right away. Personally, for the 1 hour, 2 hour after waiting, I just reintegrate the fluid, because when you cut the weight, you cut all the fluids in your body. So then you have to reintegrate the carbohydrates, that's the most important thing. But you have to do it slowly with maybe some bread, with some gummies.
7-Eleven has many little bread
Yeah,
things.
yeah. Something easy, so your body can digest it easily. So after that, after 2-3 hours after the waiting, you can start eating real meals, rice and a little bit of protein. You need to eat a lot of carbohydrates, but don't eat if you feel heavy.
Yes.
Once you start to feel full, slow down. I see many guys that try to eat a lot of food and try to put as many kilos as they can, but sometimes they do too much. So if you feel full, just slow down, maybe go for a walk, easy, and then you're gonna hit again.
When I start eating properly again, I try to eat stuff that's a little salty because I want to focus on getting the electrolytes back in my body. So sometimes I go for a soup or something that will really put the salt and stuff back in my muscle.
Yeah. Not my last fight, the one before, I forgot to put salt on the meals, and I peed 30 times on the day of the fight. When you drink a lot of fluid, it's gonna go out if you don't put salt, Salt keep them in the body. Yeah.
A lot of electrolytes.
Of course, we're not professionals. Contact a nutritionist and do whatever.
This professional fighters, not professional nutritionists.
What did you feel mentally before your first one championship fight? I'm in that spot right now.
So my first one championship fight, we had another person in Fairtex who was gonna fight on one championship, and he got hurt. And I think one championship asked for me. They asked, I told Mr. Wong, I said, me? He said, yes, they're asking for you. They want you to fight. You can't really think too much, You never know 100% if you're gonna win or if what, So I just, I just trained as hard as I could, and I knew I would try to do my best. Mr. Wong was like, if you get knocked out, you have to start all over again. So I had pressure, but I just tried to have fun and make the best of it.
Were you aggressive in your first fight?
Yes, but I think that's part of it. With One Lumpini, the crowd has more energy. So I remember second round in my fight, I started to go forward a lot, and the crowd was going crazy. And you go more crazy with the crowd. So sometimes you have to be careful. If you feed on their energy too much, maybe it's a lot of energy. So, and I got the knockout, but it wasn't very, I broke my nose. I ran into some issues because maybe I was too energetic. So it can be good and bad, the energy of the crowd. I think as a professional, you kind of have to focus and not let that affect you too much. I wasn't thinking so much about defense. So right after this, I walked right into a punch and it broke my nose. And then when he came to try and finish me, I hit him with an elbow and he got knocked out. Sometimes you need luck in a fight.
You won TKO. I lost TKO.
Oh, I'm gonna have
Very
both
different opponent.
experience.
Yeah, I remember when I first come to one championship, I was just made 19 years old. So I didn't have the experience I have now. Before I was just going crazy every time I fight. And I did the same in one championship. But in front of me I had Swablek.
A hard opponent.
He didn't let me go crazy. You know? I lost by TKO, but I did a good performance. They say, oh Lenny, don't worry, you will have another chance. So if you lose by TKO, it's not sure that you're gonna start all over again. They're gonna give you another chance, but only if you fight with your heart. You know? Fighting with small girls is gonna be painful. You're gonna feel the pain. But if you don't give up, if you keep going, if you try your best, they're gonna like you and they're gonna keep you inside of it. You know? Fight your best, fight with your heart. That doesn't mean you have to go crazy. Just go and look for the knockout. But put first the performance, you know. If you get cut, if you get hard, don't worry about it.
Put the performance first, but also make sure don't be careless. Of course, you want to give a good fight, you want to be exciting, but don't just let them hit you. Don't just let them do whatever, you know. Be careful. Don't be careless.
How can you manage between not being careless and not being afraid?
This is hard. This is a delicate
Yes.
kind of line. Obviously, you have to be aggressive. You have to know how to look for what you're looking for. You know, you have to hunt.
Yes.
But you have to be able to do it intelligently. So my old coach in America, he used to say he wanted calculated savages. Don't just go and, you know, I'm gonna have a war and, you know, the guy hits you, you give your chin and, you know, this is that. This is people think that this is what you have to do because of like rod time, but this is not what this is not even really what they want. You still have to show your skill.
Be aggressive, not stupid.
Yes, it be dangerous, but don't be careless.
How do you deal with the pressure and nerves backstage?
You know, when you're at the day of the fight, you don't have to think about it. I think that's what makes one championship beautiful. You know, if you win, you can be a superstar. You can be someone. That's just a positive thing. If you lose, they're gonna post you many times about you losing. They do about me too, you know. But yeah, it's just part of the sport, you know. But look at the positive thing. If you do the KO, they're gonna post you many times. You know, you're gonna be appreciated by more people. Even if you lose but you do a great performance, it's still good for you. You know, when I lost to Swablek, many people write me, many people start to appreciate me, you know, and say, oh, this kid has a heart, you know.
Really?
This kid is good, you know, even if I lost and I got beat up.
In English, they like to say pressure is a privilege. You don't get to experience this kind of pressure if you don't earn it, you know. So you have to kind of enjoy the moment, you know. It's you earn the right to get this feeling of pressure, you know.
Yeah.
But I think you can visualize. Of course, it's your first time fighting on one, so it's not so easy because you don't know maybe how it looks, everything.
Exactly.
After this time, it'll be much easier because you'll already have an idea of what you're getting into.
Yeah.
You imagine what it is that is making you nervous. In my head, okay, I get nervous when I walk out and I hear the crowd. In my mind, go through that situation and I live it in my mind so that when I go in real life and it happens, I'm ready for it, you know? If that makes sense.
I've been here before.
Exactly, but in your head.
Yeah.
So visualization. And sometimes you can do this with anything. You know, they try to make these shows very dramatic. One championship, even Super Champ, Fairtex Fight, all these shows, when you go to them, they have the smoke and the music. And sometimes they have the heartbeat, the boom, 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 and you hear the crowd. They want it to be like this. So you have to ignore all of that stuff, you know? Don't let it be like a move for you. You go to fight.
Yeah.
They're gonna ban us for
What separates fighters who succeed in one?
really short answer. You just have to give them a show. You know, that's the most important thing. Show your heart, you know, show your skills and give the performance of your life every time, you know. That's what they want. If they see something in you, if they see that you can bring audience, they're gonna keep you, you know. So as I said before, focus on the performance, bring your skills, you know, don't be afraid and do a big show, you know, and they're gonna keep you for sure.
I think when they know that you can give an exciting fight that fans want to see you, if they know that there's a chance that you can give them a knockout, they want to give you the chance. If you do give them the knockout, then maybe they can have a star. You have to be a little active on social media.
Unfortunately, I don't have any social media. Okay, I don't want to make it political. But government suddenly say, cut out the whole internet in the country, and they cut out, and so maybe 100 people can see my story.
It's like blocked from many people.
Blocked from my, so it makes a lot of problems for me every time these things happen a lot. Yeah, that's why being in social media for me, like, it's so difficult.
He said, if you don't have a following, it doesn't matter how good you fight.
Yeah.
I wish the best fighters are the people who get the opportunities, but this is not always the case.
I mean, like,
He's not gonna fight him.
I'm sorry, Chatri.
guys, someone. I don't. I'm not.
who's this guy? What surprised you the most? First fight you won.
When I first fight Black in one championship, it was grabbing my wrist. So it was a completely new thing for me, and it got me really in trouble. It was keep doing this and this. That can happen, so be careful. And for me, the biggest thing in one championship was the crowd. As Kando say, the crowd is crazy. Nowhere else is near as similar as one championship, and I love it. I went to fight in other organization, and it wasn't the same. As Kando say, you need to be careful because maybe it give you too much power.
I think the biggest surprise for me was he stopped us. I remember thinking to myself, oh my God, I'm very tired. And I ran forward to try and elbow this guy. He was a southpaw. And he punched me, and the punch went like this. And it broke my nose. And when he hit me on my nose, I remember I was like... and when I looked at him, I saw like 4 of him, you know? What surprised me is I didn't know that when you get hit in your nose and your nose breaks, it will make you drunk in the same way. Yeah. In the moment, I was very surprised. I was like, oh, what happened to me? I was like, oh my God. It's like fighting Naruto, you know? It's the shadow. I was like, oh, which one do I hit? You don't know where the punch will land, but maybe it will affect you a lot.
Yeah. You don't have to get hit, you know? It's not like when you are fighting in the other promotion, maybe you can take some punches and answer. Yeah. Like boxing, you know? You try to hit and...
Don't get it.
Yeah, don't get it. That's really important because every shot can be the last. Doesn't mean that you have to be on the fence all the fight, but you need to be careful. You know, you need to look with your eyes. You need more to evade.
More movement.
Yeah, more
Head movement, footwork.
Brings another question to my mind. So when do you get hit? What's your reaction?
When you get knocked down, you must remember that the fight is not over. You can switch the fight at any moment. You have to stay focused and push. So you need to be aggressive. You know, even if you won 2 rounds and you got knocked down in the 3rd round, you're gonna lose. So you must go for it. One important thing is you need to cover your chin. You need to hide it. If you see my fight with Musaev, when he was grabbing my kick and I know he was trying to punch me, I was just doing that, you know, because if they hit you here, you're gonna fall down for sure. But that part of the head is very solid. They're gonna hurt themselves if they punch here. Hide your chin every time.
Many people hurt their hands in this fight. So if you give them something hard to hit, they hit your elbow, they hit your head, maybe they hurt their hand. Every time I get dropped in a fight, I always think to myself, oh shit. Because you know that you're behind now. You go, oh fuck, now I have to get up and fight very hard. Yeah. You really don't have much time to think when you get dropped or when you get hit really hard. This is where you really learn about yourself. Because some people, if they get hit hard, they go down. Some people, they look around, they say, okay, I stay here. You know? Maybe they give up, you know? And some people, like me, I have a problem. I get up too fast sometimes. Because when I get knocked down, I want to make sure the fight doesn't stop. So I get up so fast. And sometimes the trainers, you know, when I was an amateur, my coach, if you got dropped, he'd say, look at me. And he would count for you. But sometimes here in Thailand, you go down and you look at your trainer, get up! Yeah. Say, okay. You get up and you can't even stand up. I think many times you see some people, they get dropped and you look in their eyes and you see that they don't want to fight anymore. I think sometimes it really does just come down to heart. You try your best to get up slowly, not too slow. Because if you get up too slow, then they stop the fight.
After you stand up, what's your reaction?
Sometimes if you look very hurt, they will jump on you. Sometimes offense is the best defense. Sometimes you have to focus on being safe too. Maybe they come and they attack you and you clinch and you hold. Yeah. And you wait for the ref. And when the ref breaks you, you hold for 3 more seconds. And then you make the ref fight you. And then you let go, you know?
I saw many times that maybe I drop you, maybe, and I start to go crazy on you because I want to knock you out. And then you counter and finish. You know? Because as we said before, with small gloves, it's just one shot. You know? So if they try to come at you very aggressive, just stay calm and try to counter.
How does this scoring or judging feel compared to other organizations? What's the difference?
They're gonna tell you, like they're gonna explain how they judge. But every shots count. Every shots that lands and it's hard count. You know?
Damage is number one.
Yeah. Most important thing is the knockdowns. As I said before, if you win 2 rounds, then you lost the third by knockdown, you lose the fight.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen in the other promotion because they prioritize the KOs, the knockdowns. Yeah.
And then I think after this, you have like superficial damage, so cuts and bruises. The biggest thing in one for sure is really like hurting your opponent.
They're gonna tell you when you knock down your opponent, you can't start to go backward and like save the fight because you think you have won. Even if you knock him down, you still have to go.
But also don't be stupid. If you knock him down, you don't have to go and then you get hit and something bad happens, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
You still have to, it's the same like before, you still have to hunt, you still have to look for what
Same
you're looking
before.
for, but just don't be stupid. Some people, when they hear, oh, I have to focus on damage, oh, I need the knockdown, oh, I need a bonus, oh, whatever, it can make you stupid, you know?
What should I expect from fight week and fight day?
The good thing about one is it's very organized. You don't have to think too much. Everything they need you to do, they will tell you. Normally, you're just losing weight and you don't have to think about anything else.
Yeah.
For one, you have to go to the hospital and you have to go do this and you have to do this and lose the weight.
I mean,
So-
it's good because, you know, it's alright to check the athletes to see if they
Oh,
have
this is
any
very
problem.
good,
Yeah,
very
that's very good. I hope everyone will do that, you know. I hope they will do doping test every fight too.
I would
everyone.
love this. Add that to the pre-fight hospital check.
Yeah.
They should check everyone.
Let's just hope that they're gonna put some tests for everyone, every fight in the future. Yeah, that's something that should happen.
When I go to the arena, then what's happening?
You know Thai people, when they kick, or sometimes even you hear maybe even your opponent kicking pads, especially if it's a Thai person. You know, Thais, they kick so hard, and the way that the room is, you hear very clearly. It's like you hear the echo. Like they kick and it's like, I can't, you know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah.
So you just don't think too much about it. Like
Yes.
one time I was gonna fight and I was the co-main event, and I could hear my opponent kicking. And you know how Thai people kick.
Yeah.
If you think too much about it, you go, fuck, he's gonna kick me like that. Don't worry too much. When you hit the pads, it's gonna sound the same.
What should I do in the first round?
What I do always is like first round, first 30 seconds, I move around him and just try to put the first shot. Maybe I put the jab, maybe I put some kicks, you know, something easy. So you start to read him, you start to learn what he does, you know, what's his style. And then after a little bit, you start to put more pressure, more shots, you know, and do more and do more and do more, you know. Start a little bit slow, doesn't mean that you have to stay like this, but just move, you know, put your first shots. And I think it's really important, you have to let him respect your power. And after that, you find the openings and you're gonna put more shots and more combination and gonna go up and up and up again, you know. Guys, please support Ahad this Friday on his fight. Support Kendo too on his upcoming fights. When you gonna fight?
Sometime in May. I don't have a date yet, but May.
Maybe same fight card as me.
Maybe possible. I'm not sure, but we'll see.
Will be good. I will update you guys, of course.
Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
We wish you the best.
Yeah, thank you.
And after the fight, you're gonna tell us
Of course.
what it felt.
Yeah, I will come here again.